encouraging.
It's about spreading love and light, isn't it?
Yeah,
at the end of the
definitely.
day, and trying to be more positive. You know, we're all the same. We're all energy. We're all trying to, raise everyone up.
I just find by going cold water swimming, I get in and I can just purely think of nothing but just breathing and just being calm.
If I can do that, I can do anything. I remember the first day I got in and you feel that sting and I thought, oh God, I'm not going to be able to just get yourself under. It passes and then you just feel comfortable.
And all this stuff is free, right? It's priceless. At the end of the day, I think people need to start doing stuff for themselves, stop being so reliant on the NHS and the GPs and the government, because they're not there to help you.
A little bit where you're from. We can start with you.
Oh, originally Walthamstow.
Yeah.
Irish descent, Catholic.
Yeah.
And then kind of moved all around the place, mainly in Essex. Ended up in Clacton because my poor little mum got Alzheimer's, so she needed to live with me. She's not here anymore. Took me a long time to get used to living here.
Yeah.
I kept driving back to Walthamstow, Romford, all down that way. But yeah, I enjoy it now. Made a good group of friends. We'll do cold water swimming together, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just you're buzzing all day after it, clears your head. And as Emma was saying earlier on, you kind of, we've got another family, you know, that we can all support each other, understand each other, talk about whatever's gone on in the week. With no judgment, with no judgment.
So with loss and traumas and stuff like that, it's very easy, as most people understand in most communities, that there is that need for something to fill the void, alcohol or drugs or whatever. So with cold water, what do you think it gives you or can give you the benefit of to replace other things that you could fall back onto?
It takes up my time preparing, but most of all, I guess, getting in my head, I think if I can do that, I can do anything. You know, definitely strengthens your resolve in what you're capable of doing. I remember the first day I got in, and you feel that sting, and I thought, oh God, I'm not going to be able to just get yourself under, and it passes, and then you just feel comfortable, and you know, you get out, and you just feel, I don't know, I feel reborn. I feel like I'm buzzing, I'm full of energy all day. I just feel great.
I think the hardest part for me, because I've been doing it for a few years now, I think the hardest part for me is getting in psychologically. It's getting into the water that's hardest. Once you're in, if you give it that first minute, it gets easier, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, like now, I wade in. I can't wait to get in up to the neck. But before, I think the worst thing you can do is do tiptoe, you know, slowly in like that. Yeah, I just want to get in there and get beyond the burn, sort of thing.
And I suppose with your group that I was with yesterday, it's like you're a community. So if one misses, the others are going to message you, right? You can't get away with it. What's going on? You're okay. It's like always a safe place where people are going to reach out to you, and like family, right?
For sure, okay? Everyone supports everyone, and we know someone's gone quiet, something's not quite right. Everyone's like, you know, messaging, like you rightly said, how you doing? So there's.
So we will talk about Clacton. You know, did you grow up in Clacton?
No, I grew up in London.
Yes.
So Hackney.
Okay.
And it wasn't the best of areas, to be honest with you. I pretty much didn't go to school. So it was just a rough school, all in all. Trauma from even when I was a kid growing up. We just did as we pleased, really. There was no sort of rules, no. It was that old-fashioned, you know, come home when the street lights are going off, you know what I mean? That was your calling home. You know, any later than that, that's when you're in trouble, you know.
I'm sorry, I was saying about how, you know, the generations before us, drinking was acceptable, right? So if you was in the pub, it was all right, it didn't matter. And, you know, the dangers didn't come. People weren't talking about the dangers of alcohol or the dangers of smoking or the dangers of any of these. you know, legal drugs at the time, which now we know what come of all of these different consequences, right?
Well, we were all like passive smoking, weren't we? Our parents smoked in the house.
In the house, at parties, in the pubs.
Some people smoked when they had a baby, years and years
Yeah, and they didn't
Doctor
know.
said it's good for you.
Yeah.
I think I started smoking when I was like 13, I think I did, and I would go in the shop and be able to buy a pack of fags at 13.
Well, you could write a letter, your mum could write a letter,
Yeah.
and you could get the
Or
cigarettes
you'd fake
from
one,
the,
wouldn't you? You'd
from
fake
the
one.
thing.
Get some fags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from Hackney to Clacton?
Yeah, pretty much,
Yeah.
I think I've been down here 13 years now.
Yeah, there's a lot of Londoners down there. I think a lot of us were coming on holiday here and
Yeah.
had good memories of the place.
Yeah.
I think I was kind of fed up with the expense because I was working in Liverpool Street station and I was renting well, I'll say a room, it was a cupboard in my friend's house in Camden.
Yeah.
Paying £100 a week just to sleep in a cupboard. So I kind of got, after my nan moved here, I kind of just got fed up of literally just, and it got me in a really bad way because there was a bar and we used to be able to have a drink in the salon after, it was really posh. So we used to clear up and we'd go to the next door, go get drinks, and we'd end up in the light bar right next door because we was allowed through the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it just got me in a really bad way in the end living in London because we just, every night we would just be drinking and then we'd end up just really random places.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely crazy. And I was just kind of fed up with that life. I'd had enough of it because all my money was spent on travel back from Liverpool Street to Camden just to have a bed to sleep in, working up 12 hours a day right up until late in the evening and then going out drinking. It was just a routine that I was just so fed up with in the end. And the friend that I was living with, she was really bad on cocaine, and that didn't help because she had a load of friends around that I didn't know, and obviously, you know, I was in her cupboard, so I was literally, if I had to go to the toilet, I'd have to go through her room.
No privacy.
So it was kind of like, sorry guys, you know, and the whole, I'd had enough of that lifestyle, and I thought, you know what, I rang my dad up one day and said, Dad, can you come round with the car and just pick my stuff up, because she was away at the time. And I left her a note, and I just bundled my gear in the back of my dad's car, and then got on the train down to Clacton and never looked back. Literally, that was it.
How did you meet these two lovely ladies?
We met through swimming.
Yeah, very recently, didn't we?
Yeah, very, very, very recently. And I met Debbie through Wayne.
Yeah.
So, the mental health. So we go to like therapy with Wayne.
Yeah.
And I've made a really lovely family with Wayne and Debbie. It's not like my bonus mum and dad they are. Yeah.
And if you would have thought 20 years ago, if you would have, someone had said to you, getting cold water in the middle of the winter in the sea, would you think you would be doing it?
If you'd have asked me last year, there would be no way. Even in the summer, I was too scared to get my ankles in.
Yeah.
But I just thought, you know, where I have mental health problems and the depression, the anxiety, and my PTSD, I've got OCD, I've got OD, complex PTSD as well.
Okay.
So I get things can really trigger me.
Yes.
Extra than just the OCD, so I get very over obsessive. But the cold swimming, once I got in the first time, I wasn't sure I was going to carry on.
Yeah.
But after that first go, I think if you're struggling with any mental health problems, to get into that sea, your head is just clear because my brain, I was born without an off switch, so I just can't clock off. I could be in the quietest room, but my brain is the loudest thing in there. And I just find by going cold water swimming, I get in and I can just purely think of nothing but just breathing and just being calm.
Exactly.
And then obviously when you get out, you want to get dressed, you go warm, and your brain's just so preoccupied, and it gives you that I can't say it, but
Dopamine, yeah.
Which I think a lot of people that do suffer with mental health do have that thing where they look for something to make them feel whole.
Yeah.
And this is really helping me with my sleep.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping so much better without medication, which is great because I used to really suffer with my sleeping. But since I've been doing this, I've not had to do that. Even with my depression, I feel so much more healthier in my mind, because I'm proud of myself for doing it, because it's not an easy thing to do, to go and get into a cold, in the cold sea. You know, not everyone can do that. So for me, it's making me feel good, and that's what I'm craving, is to be proud of myself actually for once.
You know, like we said, 80,000 people live in Clacton. I know what you girls do for work, but I wouldn't know if you knew the percentage of mental health in people here. It's got to be high.
It's high. It's high, yeah.
If we can get this message out today, then and people can see yourself transforming lives, then hopefully you can have more people come, because, you know, yesterday we did it. How many people did we have? 6?
Yeah.
We should have 60 or 600.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all live by the sea.
Yeah.
It's a place that, you know, it's one place where you can go in the winter, you can go for a run, you can get in the water, you can go on the beach, there'll be no one around. You see very rarely dog walkers, a couple of runners. It's such a nice place to be.
Absolutely.
It's something that I took for granted when I moved away from here. You know, like to have that on your doorstep. We live in a city and it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know, you're dealing with people with a lot of mental health problems, but they're in the fast lane. So when a lot of people come from London and come here, then you realise how bad your mental health was. Because you're trapped in that rat race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we're going to cover yourself, where you're from.
I'm from Bow, so I'm from London, and I worked in Canary Wharf for 10 years, so I was part of that sort of rat race of working long hours and drinking after work, and that was just basically what you did. The investment bank had a bank, 2 restaurants, a hairdresser's, a dry cleaners, a doctor, so you didn't even have to go out of the building. That's the whole point of the way that they work, to just keep you working. Then it got to the point where I wasn't even having lunch hours, and you know, you start to notice and you're right, it's just hustle and bustle, people walking past each other, no one saying hello. It's just very dog eat dog world, you know. We moved down here about 18 years ago, and we used to come down for the weekends. My nan and granddad had a caravan, so we used to come down at the weekends with a dog, cat, and mum and dad. And then mum and dad moved down, and we moved down about 18 years ago. And I've got 2 kids who don't realise how lucky they are to live here by the sea. They want to be in London in the hustle and bustle. But what you said about the beach, you know, I go dog walking, cold water swimming, which I found has really helped me, because I got to the age of sort of menopause. You go to the doctors, a lot of women are suffering the same thing. When you start cold water swimming and speaking to other women, you realise a lot of us are really suffering and don't realise what's going on and what's wrong, and that our bodies and our hormones are changing and everything. You know, you go to the doctors and the first thing they do is they want to put you on meds. You know, and there are other things that we can be doing, like the dopamine fix that we were talking about. I've only met Emma twice, but we've got such a close bond already just through doing the cold water swimming, and the same with Deb, you know, and it's about supporting each other and getting more of a community going, and there's no judgment. If people come and they've had a bad day, we talk about that bad day, and then we get in that water and your head's completely clear. And I'm the same, overactive mind, constantly on the go, my mind's constantly replaying over things. As soon as you enter that water, it's clear and you feel relaxed and calm. We get out, we get changed, we have a cup of tea, and the difference, like you said, the sleeping, the calmness, the you know, the clear mind, the helping the mental health, and just having people there to support you. We don't know didn't even know each other. But it just goes to show we need that community back. We've lost it. I mean, I see it a lot with the work I do. I work with a lot of older people, and they're just sitting at home in front of the TV, and it's really sad to think that we could make these small little changes, you know, get people out, get people in the community. We should be using that beach. The kids should be on that beach with schools every single day. You know, we're not using it for the amount of people that are here. In the summer, we have yoga. There's a guy called Dave Smith, and he's an ex-fireman. He retrained as a personal trainer and a yoga teacher. And over a summer, we're on that beach quite a lot, and just doing the yoga. Any level, everyone's welcome. The sun's blazing.
What do you think yoga did for you?
The yoga with me definitely was really good for my mental health and menopause. It's just such a lovely feeling. You feel like crying afterwards, and you're breathing as well. So you're doing a lot of breathing whilst you're doing the yoga. So you don't realise you're actually doing two things at once, really. You're exercising and you're breathing. It's gentle exercise. It's not about pumping iron or, you know, hurting yourself. It's about doing things very gently. And it's really powerful.
It is. It
You know,
keeps you in shape as well.
yeah,
Most people don't realise, when being a bit of an ignorant person when I was young, I did a lot of sports, impactive sports, football, boxing, and a lot of this at the time was raising my cortisol. I didn't realise it. You know, I would come home with a swollen stomach because, you know, my body's stressed.
Yeah.
And next day I was getting out of bed and I would get sick a lot. I didn't realise that pushing my
you're
body.
You're putting the strain. Yeah.
Too much. And then I found yoga a few years ago. Started doing that, and I started to realise that when I do yoga, if my mind wanders about anything, I'm off balance.
Yeah.
I have to keep focused on the breathing
Yeah.
and the movement, the
Yeah.
flexibility. Because if I start thinking, oh, what am I going to eat for dinner? All of a sudden I'm almost out of sync. You know?
Absolutely. And they say that when we're on the beach, we sort of concentrate on maybe a stone or someone's bag, and that's your concentration to help you with your balance, keep your mind focused. You know, so we've got the music on. We're just laying there thinking we could be anywhere in the world, you know, and the sun's shining. And
for most people that are watching with labelling like ADHD, PTSD, you know, or other traumas and stuff like labels, these are all coping mechanisms, a lot of them. Because, you know, we don't have that time when we can focus on just a rock or just a stone, because our brains are just too much information.
Yeah, too much going on,
And that's the same with cold water. So I was saying with a lot of people, if you can mix meditation, cold water and yoga into your sequences on a daily basis, even if it's a cold shower, even if it means starting with 10 seconds under a cold shower, just to shock yourself in the mornings, and then slowly up yourself. Because there is these myths, right? As you get older, you're going to get in the cold water, you're going to have a heart attack and all of this stuff, you know? Whereas it's actually stopping you from having a heart attack. You know, all of the stuff that we've been taught as we're young, we realise now a lot of it's wrong. A lot of it's wrong, you know? We've only lived for 100 odd years with hot water. You know, our ancestors used to have cold water.
Absolutely, you know, so and no central heating.
No central
so
heating. Sick all the time. That's why, you know, we feel lazy because we're baking ourselves in a hot house watching a TV, and the stuff that we're watching isn't good for us.
No,
you know?
no. I mean, I don't watch TV. I don't read the newspapers, so I can't tell you what's going on. And that's the thing I say to a lot of people: turn that TV off and get yourself out. You know, get yourself to a little seated, because he also does seated yoga groups. This guy, and there's other seated yoga groups, seated dance as well. They do. Get yourself out. Get yourself to a group. Get yourself to a walking group. We've got the Tendring Wanderers, fantastic walking groups. And they, again, were people that, you know, were quite isolated or felt alone, and now they're part of a walking group and they meet regularly as well. And Tracy Crook runs that group, and that's fabulous, you know. So there's groups of people walking quite regularly during the week.
How do you see getting this information out there more? Because I think since COVID happened, a lot of people have isolated themselves and locked themselves away. So what would your messages be, you girls, to get people out and feel comfortable being around people again? What would your messages be to try and get these people out and why you should be out?
I think that people have just got to give things a try. I mean, they don't have to swim. They could just, some people come along, they might not feel up to it, or they just come along and have a cup of tea. Some just dip their, right. Or just dip their toes in. You know, no one's saying you've got to immerse yourself.
Even just the whole social aspect of it. You know,
just
so
give things a try.
You may not feel like getting in the water straight away, but come down, chat. Everyone's so friendly and warm and welcoming and encouraging.
It's about spreading love and light, isn't it? At the end of the day, and trying to be more positive. You know, we're all the same. We're all energy. We're all trying to, you know, raise everyone up. So
there isn't any positivity out there anymore. You know what I mean? Everything we hear is doom and gloom.
Doom and gloom,
and the thing is, if, as communities, if we allow government to keep spreading these messages, not putting anything positive out there, then everyone's going to be on a bad vibe. It's like if the news keeps saying that this region of the country is the most deprived, then everyone's going to think it's deprived. People won't come in for tourism. We need to start showing people that this is a decent place to come in. It has got things here. But unfortunately, we've just been forgotten about. We're a little bit lost because we don't have the tourism anymore. But there is still things to do to come down. There's business running. We're in a great business here. You know, there's stuff for kids to do here.
Yeah.
And the biggest benefit is that you've got some of the cleanest air you can breathe. You know,
Yeah, for
you've
sure.
got fresh air.
Yeah.
You know, you've got wide open space for kids to play.
Yeah.
But people have just got to get off their phones, turn the TVs off, and get out of the house.
And all this stuff is free, right? It's priceless.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, I think people need to start doing stuff for themselves, stop being so reliant on the NHS and the GPs and the government, because they're not there to help you. You know, we've got to start helping ourselves, and that's what we've done. We've started to help ourselves. We do, you know, I do a meditation group, and that again is fantastic. Little 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You don't have to, you know, if your mind wanders, that's okay. That's part of, you know, that's part of the meditation. And even if you can just switch off and just be quiet for a little while, you know, you can look at things on YouTube for free. You don't have to join anything. It's not about paying for stuff. You can do things for free, and they're helping everyone, and we're testament to that. So just give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, the information's there. Look at, like we were talking about your background.
Yeah.
The amount of information you have,
Yeah.
For me, is fascinating, because I've read a lot of similar books to you. I'm into similar stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, the internet is there. You can sit on Facebook, you can read other people's shit.
Yeah.
You can get involved in other people's shit if you
Yeah.
want, or you can have it as a library and access stuff. All
Absolutely.
the books, you know, see some. There is the good stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
There is good people out there who are spreading good news, but you've got to be able to find it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can make the excuses. You can be lazy. You can sit there. You can not work, not be sociable.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
And that makes your mental health worse, it's been on your own. And just to put in there, the cold swimming is not just for the cold swimming. It's also getting a part of this cold swimming, thanks to Wayne introducing me to it. Now we've got a community, so I would love to think that the community could get bigger. But it's just people putting themselves, making themselves vulnerable. Because I was vulnerable when I first started. I only knew Wayne, didn't know anybody else. But we're such genuinely no judgment, or we're just friendly people, all there for the same reason, to feel good. There's enough negativity in the world. We go to be positive. We're not here to judge anybody's situation, circumstances. We understand that we all come from all different walks of life. You know, if you're on the street and you're homeless, I wouldn't judge you next to somebody that owns a bank.
Yeah.
Because you're no different. We still bleed the same.
Yeah.
You know, we still, at the end of the day, we're all going to die at one point in our lives, you know.
Yeah.
So no one's better than anybody. And we've got a lovely group that are just here to support each other.
And that's our goal, isn't it? Our goal is to be kind and supportive. It's not about achievements in assets or money or anything else. It's about, your goal is to be kind and supportive and help each other and raise each other up. And I think
just wish more
that's
people would have part of that community.
I think for a lot of people now, it's unfortunately a lot of it's confidence, right? To come out of that house and meet people you don't really know. A lot of people have social anxiety now. More than before, everyone was sociable.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people now that are nervous to socialise because they've been locked away. You know, 2 years of being locked away is a long, long time.
Yeah.
You unfortunately lose a lot of loved ones in that time. Families fell out over the feud of was it real, was it fake? So you have all that stuff going on.
Yeah.
But with what you're doing is, you know, if there's 50 in the group, you know, by people coming, you're going to save a life. You're going to save a few lives. You're going to save more lives, right? Because we know how hard it is to live on this planet. It's not easy. You know, it's not for everyone as well. But just give things a go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To give things a try, just to get out there and see how beautiful the world can be.
And I think people share ideas as well. So when we're at the group, people say, "Oh, I'm doing this to help myself. I'm finding this really helpful." And people go, "Oh, okay. Where'd you find out about?" You know. So we're sharing ideas and we're sharing ways and things that help us all. And you know, give it a try. It don't work for you, no problem. But everyone's welcome, and that's.
And the group is growing, isn't it?
It is growing.
As we all introduce our friends, more friends come along, and then they bring their friends and so on. So
in Poland, because there's so many small towns, cities all over the place, there's a lot of different little groups there.
Yeah.
And if you're a weekend somewhere, you can find a group and you can go join that group. It's nice, you can move around, you know what I mean? And the same here. If you went to Southend, you might find a group there.
Yeah.
If you went to Brighton, you might find a group there, or Great Yarmouth, and you have the same kind of people going through the same similar stuff and into the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. But before we go, what is the name of the group so that people can find you on Facebook?
we've got two groups at the swimming. So we've got the Chili Cockerels, which Wayne and Warren head up.
Yeah.
And we've got the Blue Tits, and we're all friends, and we all go to each other's swims.
Yeah.
And so it's great. They're on Facebook. They can be found on Facebook, both of the groups. And we welcome anyone who would like to come and support them through it.
Brilliant, fantastic, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.